Hello, guys. You've been witnessing the rallying of the ETF backed by Bitcoin. And here I am uh, asking you to attend a seminar to learn about ETF, digital asset, and tokenized funds. You may be confused if ETF and Bitcoin is the only thing in town, and why do and everybody is capitalizing on ETF. All you have to do is go and invest in the fund supported by the ETF backed by Bitcoin. But this is where you are all going to be making a biggest mistake of your life. The When it comes to the digital assets, a lot of people have a misconception about digital asset, and I've been trying to explain this for over 7, 8 years now, in the form of writing and talking about it. The digital asset, there are three types of digital assets: digital asset in the public domain, digital asset in the private domain, and digital asset in the consortium domain. What are they? What's the difference? Different between all the three of the classes. This is the key for you to really understand and make a wise decision in terms of investment into digital assets. Whether you do it, capitalize the digital assets through ETF or through tokenized fund, fundamentally you must have an understanding of the difference between the private digital asset and public digital asset, and then the third category, the consortium digital asset, which predominantly what I support in most of the uh, asset classes that I help to get created and launched. So when it comes to the public digital asset, it is created through, you all know that behind digital asset there's a technology called blockchain. Although we people who are in this tech space call it as the distributed computing. Basically, it's all about decentralization and a single form of truth, provenance of records, and immutability, and also all these things are brought by the blockchain, and that created an opportunity to actually launch crypto-based things. Why I use the word thing is because everybody initially started calling it as a cryptocurrency, uh, and started launching cryptocurrencies out of it. Currency is just one use case, one thing that can be launched out of this fantastic mechanism, fantastic technology, business model, and even the legal model that the blockchain unleashed, right? Unfortunately, everybody was chasing and speculating the cryptocurrencies because that's the easiest thing to do. And the Bitcoin is great. There's no doubt about it. But the Bitcoin is one asset class, and that too, it's under the category of currency only, right? It's not a digital asset in its full form, because it has no intrinsic value in it. And this is where most of the people don't get it. They don't even talk about intrinsic value, unfortunately. So to this seminar, that's what I wanted to unleash, to make you guys understand the basic difference, what a digital asset is, and how really it is different from cryptocurrency, right? Cryptocurrency is just one use case, and not every cryptocurrency can take the rally the same way Bitcoin is taking. Even Bitcoin is not going to grow the way the speculators are speculating to go to millions of dollars. Now we have seen this before over and over again. They just simply speculate, and then there's going to be a massive sell-off. So ETF is giving a good ride now for Bitcoin to take a rally, but there's going to be a limit, and at some point of time, it's going to crash, right? There's going to be a massive sell-off, definitely. Uh, but then you may ask, so what should we do? Everybody is jumping onto ETF, Bitcoin-based ETFs. So what different? What other things you should be doing, right? So that's why I'm here for. In the conference, I'm going to be in the seminar. I'm going to be explaining in much more detail. But I'll try to give the overview in this video. Um, Basically, whether ETF is one vehicle, right? After a long time of resisting to let the public digital assets to get into the exchange, because public in the sense there was no HCC was not accommodating or in fact recognizing any exchanges unless until they are broker dealer, passing all the regulatory framework that's required one to run an exchange for all these crypto assets, right? So finally ETF gave away because ETF is a fund. So no, it's kind of not the exchange fund. Basically exchange is allowing this fund to be traded, but then the fund is going to invest in bitcoins on other digital assets too. So it's a mechanism, indirect workaround for the digital assets to get into the exchange. But the problem is these digital assets, unlike the other funds. So funds, if you have funds, what do? You raise money. The fund has to go and acquire assets, real world assets, in the form of real estate or buying a piece of a company, which in turn has products and services and solutions to deliver. And invest in mining, invest in minerals. There has to be a tangible value. You finally are going to be acquiring indirectly some real world assets. But regardless of whether ETF is traded in the exchange as a fund, what's going to invest in it, right? The ETF is going to buy these bitcoins, and what does it really infer? What does it have, right? It again is a kind of a commodity or a currency. So basically, can you say that ETF is to buy kind of a forex, electronic form of forex thing? But it's just a money exchange medium. Yes, there's a perceived value and it is growing, and so as ETF is growing too. But there's not going to be a bigger intrinsic value or going to be a good tradable value. Eventually it is going to fall flat. So these public assets are publicly traded cryptocurrencies are not the real digital assets. Silently, people like me and a lot of others who are really into this space for quite some time, we help in creating digital assets with intrinsic value. Essentially, this intrinsic value are coming from projects, investment into the real world assets, right? And they are not going to be in the publicly traded domain straight away. So public digital assets are not going to be because there's a cycle by which, like the way the companies go IPO, right? You have to have a cycle by which the company has to get started and get invested and it grow, develop product solutions, start selling something, and then at some point of time show the growth to be ready for IPO. Unfortunately, in ICO, what you call in the cryptocurrency market space, initial coin offering, you don't have to show any growth or anything, because whatever you are creating is just a fake asset with zero value in it, and then they pretend to be kind of, there is a ICO market and they just launch it, and suddenly it becomes a publicly traded asset. Bitcoin is the only thing where most of the people are trading, but there are other ones, to Ethereum kind of crypto assets. To some extent, Ethereum try to get the indirect value through engaging in the enterprise world, making use cases, utilities, and other, getting into utilities and other things. But most of the crypto assets are empty, fake assets. So ETF is going to be a big trouble. So yeah, eventually, same thing with the tokenizers as well. If you are approaching tokenization of the fund purely based on these public crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, you definitely are going to be making a big mistake. So my job is to bring the to your knowledge and understanding what these digital assets in the private domain, how we should be creating, we are creating, and silently many companies started creating digital assets, essentially coming out of the value from within the company, the hotspots within the company, in the form of products and solutions. So there are many intelligence within the company that can be captured as a digital asset, right? Intelligence, deep tech intelligence, and AI intelligence, and uh, big data intelligence can also be captured as digital asset values, or the traditional real world assets backed by solid metals and precious metals and solid uh, companies IPs, intellectual properties. So that's the right way to go. Such a kind of digital assets, or the actual digital assets which is we are talking about, and that's going to be dominating the market, and in the next 20 years slowly coming up, and that's the right way to go. Don't go with the hype cycle that's created by the ETF Bitcoin. ETF is a fantastic mechanism. There's a vehicle that's unleashed one set of a digital asset class, which is Bitcoin, but then there's going to be thousands of more digital assets backed by ETF and tokenized assets, sorry, tokenized funds. That's what we are going to be learning through this seminar. I wish you attend the seminar, and looking forward to have you on site. And let's unleash the potential of digital assets and ETF and tokenized funds. All the best. Bye bye.